This is Akashvani. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. The participants are Shekhar Iyer, political analyst, and Ishan Mittal, anchor.
In the 103rd edition of his Mann Ki Baat, Prime Minister Narendra Modi discussed natural calamities owing to the monsoon season, as well as risk mitigation undertaken under his watch. He also talked about the various cultural as well as religious aspects that are linked to the holy season that is dedicated to Lord Shiva. Mr. Iyer, what does the Amrit Sarovar project mean for water conservation? The Prime Minister laid emphasis on water conservation through this project. If you could discuss in detail.
Thank you, Ishan. Indeed, today's address to the nation on Mann Ki Baat covered several subjects, particularly the current season of Sawan. And this is also a period when we see floods, landslides, natural disasters caused by heavy rain. But this is also a season of greenery. This is also a season of rejuvenation of Mother Earth, an opportunity for water conservation. So in this context, Prime Minister referred to particularly, work being done in different parts of the country for conserving water, rather to harvest water by saving the rainwater. So he spoke about how Amrit Sarovars are being built, and we are seeing that people are working. Already 50,000 work is already on, because the target is 60,000 water bodies to be created, which are being called Amrit Sarovars. And on 50,000 Amrit Sarovars work is going on. And the people have become fully aware of the need to conserve water. And Prime Minister in particular recalled his visit to Shahdol district in Madhya Pradesh, where he met the tribal people of Pakadia village, where, how they are working to preserve this rainwater. So they have started digging up wells in that area, of course, with the help of the administration. They have converted about 100 wells already into a water recharge system. So what happens is the rainwater now flows into these wells, and from the wells the water enters the ground. So this will gradually improve the level of groundwater availability. They are encouraged by their own work and their success. They have set a target of using about 800 wells in the entire area for recharging. So this is something that the Prime Minister says is a good example of how when people become aware of the need to conserve water, and particularly not to let the rainwater go waste, one can see fantastic things happening in terms of public participation, public cooperation.
Indeed, water conservation and the importance of water is also underlined by practices such as the Kawad Yatras, in which people bring the water of the holy Ganges to the 12 Jyotirlings, and this was discussed by PM Modi as well. I would also like to pick from what you had said earlier about this being a season of regeneration, and how he had talked about new plantations happening in Uttar Pradesh as well.
Definitely, we have seen that encouraging news is coming from different states. Particular mention is Uttar Pradesh, where record planting of 30 crore trees on a single day has been had, and this has been done because the state government has started a campaign. And all the people participated. Such efforts of public participation. So it is necessary that we utilize this season where we conserve water, we plant trees. This is an opportunity. Of course, afforestation is a bigger thing. But all of us in our own way, we can plant trees in our neighborhood, wherever we can, so that this sends out a message that this is a great time, because Sawan Mahina is associated with greenery, and greenery means is a symbol of joy. That's the thing that the Prime Minister was appealing to the people to take it up as some kind of a mass campaign, and to engage themselves in a tree plantation drive.
And from our tribal brethren in Shahdol to the foreign appreciators of our culture, such as those from America and France, the PM also discussed about how yoga and how the Amarnath Yatra has also found resonance with our foreign friends, and he discussed that as well. If you could shed light on that.
Yes, he mentioned there are two such American people who have come from California, and they have joined this year's Amarnath Yatra. And because they have read about Amarnath Yatra, and particularly they have heard about the experiences of Swami Vivekananda relating to the Yatra. So they felt very inspired, and they have come and they are joining in this. And this is all because they feel that this whole Yatra to seek the blessings of Bholenath is a very unique pilgrimage. So you are seeing a lot of foreign people also coming. And similarly, the Prime Minister mentioned about a French woman. When he had gone to France, he had met her during his recent visit. And this lady is a yoga practitioner. Her name is Charlotte Chopin. And she is 100 years old, but she has been practicing yoga for the last 40 years. And that shows in her health, and she credits entirely to her practice of yoga. And in fact, in that country, she is seen as a prominent face of science of yoga. This shows that how India's contribution to the world is through all these methods, whether it is Ayurveda or whether it is yoga or yoga. And the Prime Minister particularly mentioned, when we talk of heritage, when we think of need to preserve our culture and particularly whatever we have got it as a symbol of heritage. Prime Minister recalled how in Ujjain, 18 painters from all over the world are working on producing books based on Puranas, and they are using depicting paintings. And these paintings are in different style, whether it is Bundi style or Nadwada style or Pahadi style. But through paintings, you can tell stories of Puran and the message. And all these paintings are to be preserved, are to be displayed in Ujjain's Trivedi Museum, which is going to become another center of attraction apart from Mahakal Temple. So the Prime Minister also mentioned in this context how one Baat, an artist from Rajkot, he has also been working on some paintings to depict some incidents in the life of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So there he has also depicted one particular episode that caught the Prime Minister's attention was Shivaji's visit to his Kul Devi, that is Tulja Mata, after his coronation. And that painting completely describes the atmosphere in the temple, when Shivaji visited that. So it's very important. Prime Minister feels that to keep our traditions alive, to keep our heritage alive, we have to save it, we have to propagate it, we have to teach it to the next generation. So this is a very important thing the Prime Minister felt, and even he recalled that, not just about our heritage, cultural heritage, even our flora, fauna, he particularly mentioned the work done by Suresh Raghavan, who is from Vadavalli village in Tamil Nadu, and he is very fond of painting, and he has been using his paintings to preserve information about plants and animals, and he has been collecting documents of various flora and fauna for people to come and see his paintings, and that is also a very unique contribution that the Prime Minister noticed.
The Prime Minister not only encourages us to look at our intangible cultural and religious heritage, but he also emphasizes on the importance of the tangible in the form of artifacts that have been returned to India, as well as you so well described the artifacts that are being created by our artists, but also the translation of this heritage into real life, examples such as job creation, into real life aggrandizement in the sense of people get jobs, they get employment, and they can refuel, give back to the heritage in that way. So if you could talk about that, the reality, the real underpinnings of intangible cultural heritage.
Yeah. See, even today there are traditional craftsmen, who are doing a lot of work. And what is very important now, the world has recognized that these artifacts belong to India. The Prime Minister, and particularly when he was visiting the United States recently, the US government had been undertaking a drive to see that all these artifacts which were stolen from our temples, particularly from the South India, which were smuggled out, those are all returned back to India. So many such artifacts have returned to India. Some of these artifacts are as old as 2,500 years old. So the Prime Minister feels that these are very rare items, and if these items are being sent out, it also shows that we need to develop more concern, more awareness, how we have to preserve this. Similarly, the government of Australia also ensured return of some artifacts. So that is why the Prime Minister feels, when you get to see all these artifacts which were stolen and they have been returned, you realize how much of heritage, we are blessed with. Particularly if you look at some of these sculptures, sandstone sculpture from 11th century, there is a sculpture of Apsara dancing which belongs to Madhya Pradesh. Many idols of the Shola period. There is one particular thing that has just been returned. Is a 1,000-year-old bronze statue of Ganesha, Lord Ganesha. So the Prime Minister feels there is a long list, and the Prime Minister is very happy and wants to convey his gratitude to the American government who have taken special efforts. Now that these are all coming back, this is going to increase awareness of our own people to the rich heritage we have.
Another interesting theme was his emphasis on the contribution of women and the role that women can play in terms of the propagation of culture. So one was Bhojpatras that were made by women from Uttarakhand, and another important and very real kind of intervention that he had with respect to women being able to conduct the Hajj pilgrimage. These are two very interesting aspects that were outlined in his Mann Ki Baat. So if you could talk about those.
You see, the Bhojpatra is basically using a bark of a particular tree, which are found in the upper Himalayas. And Prime Minister has been very impressed with the work done by women from Niti Mana Valley in the Chamoli district of Himachal Pradesh. These women had once presented him a unique artwork done on this Bhojpatra in October last year. And, he has seen that Bhojpatra has been used traditionally to preserve our scriptures, books, and all these things. Even entire Mahabharata has been written on Bhojpatra. Now, today what is happening is from Uttarakhand and other places, even in Himachal, women have taken up this work, and many people are coming and seeing products that are made from this Bhojpatra, and this is being encouraged, and many pilgrims are happy to see this Bhojpatra. In fact, Uttarakhand government has been undertaking special training for women to make novel products from Bhojpatra. Of course, Bhojpatra is a particular tree, so the state government has also started a campaign to preserve this rare species of Bhojpatra. So all this goes to show that, look, this tradition of, preserving some of our ancient scriptures, which have a lot of religious significance on Bhojpatra, along with the fact that these patras can be used for, several other, artwork and things like that. And the Prime Minister feels this is a good way of preserving our tradition and our culture, and also for livelihood for some people. You mentioned about Hajj visit, which is also a very, very significant thing that has happened. There have been many Muslim women, particularly elderly Muslim women, who are finding it difficult to undertake a Hajj pilgrimage because the rules required that, they have to be accompanied by a male companion, or Behram as it is called. And gradually what has happened after the government changed the rules in consultation with the government of Saudi Arabia, more and more women have been able to undertake this pilgrimage. So today the figure stands at 4,000, which is a very significant thing, because previously they could not do so. So the Prime Minister feels is particularly very, very grateful to government of Saudi Arabia, who have appointed special women coordinators to help our women who reach there, so that they do not feel the need for a companion. These women coordinators there to help them. And this is a very big thing, because after the policy change, more and more people are getting the chance to go for Hajj. And some of them who have gone on such Hajj without a male companion, but being helped by people on arrival there, they have written to the Prime Minister, thanking the government for the experience they have had and for a very important mission in their life being fulfilled.
Shekhar sir, if you could also briefly talk about the Prime Minister's discussion on the Amrit Kalash Yatra, as well as the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign, re-emphasizing that this year.
Yes, because again, we are seeing this Amrit Kalash Yatra is going to be very interesting. The soil from all over the country is being collected to mark our Amrit Mahotsav, 75 years of independence. So what is happening is this campaign, Meri Mati Mera Desh, in this campaign, and we are seeing that now that August 15th is coming, Independence Day is coming. So this is going to be a very big campaign that is going to be launched, which will see that many programs will be organized all over the country to remember the people who laid down their lives for the freedom of this country. And also this Amrit Kalash Yatra will be organized all over the country. Soil carrying from in 7,500 urns from every part of the country will reach Delhi, the capital, and they will also carry saplings from different parts of the country. So that Amrit Vatika is going to be erected near the National War Memorial. And all the soil and saplings will be kept there, and then a new garden, a garden that will symbolize Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. That is going to be undertaken. Prime Minister had spoken about this from the Red Fort last year when he addressed the nation, saying that this is among the Panch Prana, 5 pledges that were taken. So Prime Minister wants, all of us should upload our selfies on particular website. He has mentioned yuva.gov.in, so that all these sacred soils that are being brought, we get connected, we understand the significance and the symbol that is sought to be achieved. And similarly, last year on the occasion of Independence Day, we saw Har Ghar Tiranga Abhiyan. Similarly, this year too, tricolor is to be hoisted in every house. And this tradition is going to continue, because this is in a way we remember the people who sacrificed for the independence of the country, and we also value the freedom, what freedom means to us, what is free India to us. So this is the appeal from the Prime Minister.
Thank you so much, Mr. Iyer.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You were listening to a discussion on Prime Minister's Mann Ki Baat. The participants were Shekhar Iyer, political analyst, and Ishan Mittal, anchor. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of Akashvani. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on Air. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, on Air Official. You may share your feedback about this program through email at airnsdtalks@gmail.com or WhatsApp on 9289094044.